Hello friends, how are you? I hope you all are doing good. So let's continue with our discussion on marginal costing that we started in the last lecture. Very important chapter as I told you, right? And let's have a quick recap of what we have done in the last lecture. Then we'll continue with the today's lecture. And before we continue, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon so that you get all the notifications and share with maximum people, guys. Share on all the platforms or Instagram, Telegram, wherever you can share it maximum. This way you can contribute to the growth of this channel, right? This is the least contribution that we are asking from you people. And download our Android app. For handbooks, visit our website, that is www.kstteaching.org. Okay, now let's start with what we have discussed in the marginal cost. So what is a marginal cost? Marginal cost is the additional cost for manufacturing one additional unit, right? Like here, when we added one additional coaching, that is text, we paid 10,000. Now this is the marginal cost. Now, if it is changing, that means we say it is a variable cost. This coaching fee is your variable cost and not a fixed cost, right? This is what we discussed. So for the understanding of the marginal cost, when we talk about the marginal cost, we need to divide the cost into two parts. One is variable and the other one is fixed cost. Because the marginal cost is a variable cost and not a fixed cost. So we need to divide the total cost into variable and fixed. So this is what we studied. Total cost to be divided into two parts. Marginal cost, it is the additional cost incurred for producing one additional unit. Marginal cost is a variable cost, or we can say that it is the cost which is saved by not producing one unit, right? The vice versa also holds true. If we say that if you are producing one additional unit, you will have to incur additional cost. And we can say the otherwise also, that if you are not producing an additional unit, you will save that cost. So both ways it is correct. So even if you are saving the cost, that will also be your marginal cost. Then we discussed from the point of view of manufacturer that if 100 units are being manufactured, the cost is 10,000, right? And if you manufacture one additional unit, that is 101 units, so 10,500. So 500 is your marginal cost, that is the additional cost incurred on manufacturing one additional unit. Now the manufacturer has to see whether it is worth spending 500 on one additional unit, whether it is worth manufacturing one additional unit, that we will be having so much of the sale price or will earn that much that we are able to cover this cost, right? So all the direct costs are variable cost, or we call it as marginal cost. This terminology, marginal and variable cost, they have often been used interchangeably. Then we discussed that cost can be of various types: variable, fixed cost, semi-variable cost, and the step letter cost. So this is all what we discussed in the last lecture, and I hope you have been able to understand, and I hope you are following what I told you, that you have to revise it side by side. You have to practice it, you have to revise it, so that during the revision, during the second revision, it saves your time. And the first revision that you will do side by side, that is, you listen to the lecture, next day only you are revising the same lecture, the same topic, it will have a longer impact on your mind. Okay, so now in this lecture, what we are going to start with is, we are going to discuss about the cost and profit statement. Cost and profit statement, right? Or we call it as income statement also. Now I'll discuss two things in this. When we talk about this income statement, we will study it from two different perspectives, right? One perspective is what we have been doing so far, right? In whatever the chapters we have covered before this, what is the methodology we have been following and what is different in this marginal costing, right? So income statement we'll be studying from two different aspects. One aspect is absorption costing, right? And the another aspect that we are going to study is income statement under marginal costing. So these are the two aspects that we are going to cover in this lecture, that what we have been doing so far is absorption costing and what is different in the marginal costing, right? So let's first discuss about this absorption costing. Now, when we talk about the absorption costing, we have already studied the chapter of overheads. There, for the first time, we studied the concept of absorption, that whatever the overheads are, you absorb those overheads into 1 unit of finished good on some basis, like the machine hours, labor hours, prime cost, material cost, labor cost. So all those bases we studied, that is known as absorption costing. That is, you are absorbing the cost on the basis of some functions, right? Okay, now let's see, when you prepared the cost sheet, we have already discussed about the cost sheet. We have already studied this chapter of cost sheet, isn't it? Right, we have studied this chapter of cost sheet. So what we studied in the cost sheet, how the cost sheet was prepared, can you tell me how this cost sheet was prepared? So first we used to take direct material. First we take direct material plus direct labor, right, plus direct expenses. I'm just going to make a small cost sheet, right? From here you will get prime cost. From here we'll get prime cost. Then add factory overheads. Add factory overheads, right? We'll get factory cost. Right? Then in the factory cost, we'll add office and administration overheads. Office and administration overheads. From here you will get cost of production. Cost of production. Then to the cost of production, we will add selling and distribution expenses. So this is a quick revision of cost sheet also. Right? What you will get is cost of sales, add profit, cost of sales and add profit. What you will get is sales value. Right? So this is what we have studied in the chapter of cost sheet. Now see, in this, what we have done is, whether we talk about the factory overheads, whether we talk about the office and administration overheads, or whether we talk about the selling and distribution overheads, right? We have not bifurcated these overheads into variable and factory overheads. We have taken the total overheads on the basis of the functions, right? We have divided that this is the factory overheads, all the expenses related to the factory. Office and administration overheads, all overheads including the variable and fixed overheads on the basis of the function, that is office and administration. Then selling and distribution overheads on the basis of selling and distribution of the products. Right? So this is, we have absorbed overheads on the basis of functions. We are identifying the overheads on the basis of functions. This process is known as absorption costing. Right? This process is known as absorption costing, or this is also known as traditional costing. This is also known as traditional costing. Right? Where we are not bifurcating the cost into variable and fixed overheads. Now this is a cost statement. If we talk about this, this is your cost statement. The same statement, if you want to present as income statement, right? There is a slight variation if we talk about the income statement and the cost statement. If you want to present the same statement under the absorption costing only or the traditional costing only, but I want to prepare, this is the cost sheet that I prepare, that is the cost statement. I want to present it as income statement. Let's see. Now I say I want to make income statement. Income statement as per absorption costing. When we talk about the income statement, we'll start with the income, right? What is your income? What is your income, sir? Your income is your sales. So we'll start with sales value. From sales value, you will reduce all your expenses. That is direct material cost you will reduce. You will reduce your direct labor cost. You will reduce your direct expenses. You will reduce factory overheads. You will reduce office and administration overheads, office and admin overheads, and you will reduce selling and distribution overheads. Selling and distribution overheads. So you'll reduce each and everything from there, right? So you will get profit because this is your cost. Sales value minus cost will give you profit. So this is the income statement, that what is the income that you are earning, and in the income statement we always start with the sales value. Now this is under the absorption of the traditional costing only, what we are talking about, right? So in this case, there is no division of cost into variable and fixed cost. Overheads are absorbed on the basis of functions like office administration. So we can say that overheads in this case, overheads under absorption costing, overheads under absorption costing, under absorption costing are absorbed on the basis of, are absorbed on the basis of functions like factory. Factory is one function, office and administration, selling and distribution. So, right? So, what we are doing is all the overheads are being absorbed on the basis of the functions. Clear? This much is clear, that how we prepare the cost statement, and the same statement if I want to prepare in the form of the income statement, this is how we can prepare it in the form of income statement, where we start with the sales value and add the profit, that is the income what we are earning, right? So in this case, whatever the overheads are, these are being identified on the basis of functions like factory overheads, office and administration overhead. So the point here is, important thing here is the function. The base here is the function. We identify the overheads on the basis of functions. Now let's try to understand what is the problem with this. What is the problem with the absorption costing? We have studied it, that's fine. Everything is good, right? But when it comes to the marginal costing, or when it comes to the really some technical part, let's try to understand what is the problem with this absorption costing. Why this marginal costing technique has been developed? Obviously, if there is some problem in the absorption costing, there is another technique that has been developed, that is marginal costing, right? How that problem will be solved by the marginal costing, let's try to understand that, right? So I'll say, what is the problem with absorption costing? What is the problem with absorption costing? Let's see what is the problem with absorption costing. Let's say you have office and administration overheads. We'll talk about office and admin expenses, or office and administration overheads, right? Say in the month of August, your office and administration overheads were 20,000, right? In the month of September, your office and administration overheads increased to 25,000. So you will say, sir, there is an increase of 5,000 rupees. There is an increase of 5,000 rupees, right? Now let's bifurcate it. Let's say for the month of September, in the month of September, when you have 25,000, this expenditure is on two parts. One is your stationery, right? One is your stationery, and the another part of the office and administration expenses is salary. Not for the month of September, but overall only. Once again, if we talk about overall, the office and administration overheads, we divide it into two parts. One is stationery, right? and the other one is salary. So we are dividing it into two parts. Let's assume that there are two components of this office and administration overheads. There are two components of this office and administration overheads. One is stationery, other one is salary. Now tell me, this salary is a variable cost or a fixed cost? Will the salary of a person, say there is a person who is given the job of audit, say audit fee you are paying. Is your audit fee dependent upon the number of units that this unit will be manufacturing or no? The audit fee will not be dependent upon the number of units. That means this salary or the audit fee, what we can say to the auditor, salary to the auditor, this is your fixed cost. This is your fixed cost. Right? This is your fixed cost. What about the stationery? So stationery is your variable cost. Stationery is your variable cost. Sir, how the stationery expense can vary with the number of units? It can. The more the number of units you are manufacturing, that means the more number of sales you will be doing. If you are doing more number of sales, more number of invoices you will be getting, right? More number of invoices you will be issuing. For that, more stationery will be required, isn't it? So all these things vary with the number of units. Anyhow, they are dependent. That is a variable cost. Now, if we talk about the absorption costing does not consider this variable and cost. The absorption costing part considers up till this point only, this much only, right? This is the only part in the absorption costing. Now tell me, as per absorption costing, if we say we have this cost has increased by 5,000 rupees, can you tell me, as per the absorption costing, I have made this box is my absorption costing box, right? As per absorption costing, can you tell me if there is an increase of 5,000, that is from 20 to 25,000, how much of this increase is attributable to stationery and how much of that increase is attributable to salary? Can you identify as per the absorption costing method? You will not be able to identify. Why? Because absorption costing method says I will take total office and administration overheads from 20 to 25,000. That's it. I'm not concerned with stationery. I'm not concerned with salary. I'm not concerned with variable cost. I'm not concerned with the fixed cost. Right? So you will not be able to identify. Now, if you in the real time, if you talk about some manufacturing unit, there will be n number of variable cost involved in this office and administration overheads. If we do not know that this 5,000 increase is due to which cost, we will not be able to control that cost. That is the real problem. Right? If we are not going to bifurcate into the various costs, at the end of the day, what will happen? You will not be able to identify that this 5,000 increase in the cost is because of which particular activity, and can we have a control on that cost? Can we control that activity? Because this 5,000 is a significant amount, right? It is not a small amount. Clear? So this is the problem with absorption costing. Now to solve this problem, this technique of marginal costing came into place. Now in the marginal costing concept says that you have to bifurcate the total cost into variable cost and fixed cost. Then identify that if there is an increase or decrease, in the cost, we'll try to find out it is due to which particular element of the cost. Under variable cost, it is due to increase in stationery. If it is due to increase in stationery, why this extra stationery was used? What is the reason behind that? It may be that it was bought at a higher price, or whatever the reasons are, we'll try to control that cost. Under absorption costing, we'll not be able to identify it with the particular activities and control that particular activity cost. Right? So that is why in marginal costing, we say the bifurcation of cost into variable cost and fixed cost is necessary. Now, when we talk about marginal costing, we say in the marginal costing, we are not identifying the cost with office and administration. The importance here is being given to the variable cost and the fixed cost. That means in marginal costing, the cost is being divided on the basis of nature of cost, whether it is a fixed cost or it is a variable cost or it is a semi-variable cost, right? So write it down that in marginal costing, In marginal costing, the cost is divided on the basis of nature of cost, that is variable cost, fixed cost, then semi-variable cost, and like that, semi-variable cost, etc. Right? So when we talked about the absorption costing, there we say the cost is being absorbed on the basis of functions. But in this case, we say the cost is being divided or absorbed on the basis of nature of the cost, that is variable cost, fixed cost, semi-variable cost, and so on. I hope this much is clear. Now we'll talk about the preparation of income statement under marginal costing. Now I'll talk about income statement under absorption costing we have studied. Now we'll study about income statement under marginal costing. Now when we talk about income statement, as I told you, the income statement will start with the sales value. Here also we'll start with the sales value. No issues. Then there also we reduce the total cost. Now in this case, we are not going to reduce the total cost. In this case, we are first going to reduce the variable cost. That is the cost which is incurred in the manufacturing, right? Or which changes with the change in the 1 unit of output, which is directly related with the output. So first we are going to reduce our variable cost. Minus variable cost we are going to reduce. Right? Now this variable cost will be direct material cost, direct labor cost, direct expenses, variable part of factory overheads, variable part of office and administration overheads, office and admin overheads, right? Then variable part of selling and distribution overheads, right? So all this will be my variable cost. From sales value, I will first reduce my variable cost. Now in this variable cost, always remember that this direct cost is always variable. This direct cost is always variable cost, because the direct cost is identified in 1 unit of the finished product, and if it is directly identifiable in 1 unit of the finished product, it will change with 1 unit of finished product. If you are manufacturing 1 additional unit, the direct material will be used additionally, direct labor will be used additionally, and direct expenses will be used additionally, right? So this direct cost, when we talk about the direct cost which is identifiable in the 1 unit of the finished product, this direct cost is always a variable cost. Remember this. Right? This thing you have to remember, that direct cost is always a variable cost. Okay. So from here, what you will get is, if you reduce the sales value from the variable cost, you will get profit, not the exact profit, because we have to take the fixed cost also. This is the profit that is related to the units that you are manufacturing, because the variable cost is related to the units that you are manufacturing, right? Or units that you are selling. So from here, this word that is used here is contribution. We call it as contribution, right? Not profit. It is a sort of profit. But not the exact profit. From this contribution, now you will reduce your fixed cost. From here, you will reduce your fixed cost, all the fixed cost, right? The fixed cost will include the fixed cost related to factory overheads, related to office and administration overheads, related to selling and distribution overheads. So all the fixed costs you have to remove. The direct cost is never a fixed cost. Remember this. The direct cost is only and only a variable cost. So be careful. What I say is, you have to remove your fixed cost from the contribution. You have to reduce it. And what you will finally get is net profit. This is your net profit, right? Contribution is a sort of profit, but it is not your net profit, because the fixed cost is included in that. When you reduce the fixed cost from there, you will get net profit. So this is the income statement under marginal costing. Now this income statement is very, very important because the same income statement is used in the financial management also. Right? Multiple times, not in just one chapter. This income statement in the whole of financial management, we use this income statement that sales value less variable cost contribution less fixed cost, net profit. There we call net profit as EBIT. Then reduce the interest, then reduce the taxes, then we get the final profits. Right? So this income statement as per marginal costing is very important. In the next lecture, don't worry, we will discuss in detail about this contribution, that what is a contribution. This is very important for you people to understand in detail. There's small technicalities, variable cost you know, sales value you know, fixed cost you know, net profit you know, but you don't know what exactly the contribution is. So in the next lecture, we are going to spend the next lecture on the calculation of this, on understanding this contribution, that what is a contribution. That is very, very important for you people to know, that what is a contribution, right? Very important. Okay. Now there is one term that is being used. So this is about the income statement, cost profit statement under the absorption and marginal costing. I hope this is clear. Now I'm going to use one term, that is differential cost. A small discussion, differential cost. Right? Differential cost. Now this is from the theoretical point of view, right? Not from the practical point of view. This topic is from the theoretical point of view. Sir, what is this differential cost? Whether it is similar to the marginal cost or whether it is different from the marginal cost. Try to understand. Say you want to take the costing coaching, right? You want to take costing coaching. Now you have two alternatives in this, whether to study from the YouTube, right? Or whether to go for the pen drive classes or the live classes. Pen drive or live classes, right? Now what is the cost that you will pay if you study from the YouTube? The cost is the cost that you will pay is say 1500 rupees in terms of buying only the books, right? So if you are studying from KSJ Teaching, you are studying from the YouTube, the lectures are absolutely free of cost. The only thing that you pay is only for the books that cost around 1400, right? Not even 1500. So I've taken it as a rounded figure, 1500 say, right? If you are studying from YouTube. If you go for the pen drive or the live classes, the quality you are going to get same quality you are going to get. If you go for the pen drive or the live classes, obviously you will shell out minimum to minimum 7000 rupees. Minimum to minimum, right? So this difference of 5500 rupees, what you will call it? Will you call it a marginal cost? Will you call it a marginal cost? This difference of 5500, that if you are studying from the YouTube, you are spending 1500 rupees. And if you study from the pen drive or the live classes, you will shell out minimum 7000 rupees. So this 5500 is what? Is this your marginal cost? Or no? Is this your marginal cost or no? No, sir. This is not a marginal cost. This is my differential cost. This is my differential cost. This is not a margin, because marginal cost says it is the cost of manufacturing one additional unit. Now in this example, the marginal cost was if you add one more subject to the existing subjects of the coachings, right? Here you are not adding any subject. Here you are looking for the two different alternatives, the cost between the two different alternatives, right? This is known as differential cost, right? So differential cost is basically the difference in cost. Differential cost is difference in cost of two alternatives for the same thing, right? Two alternatives. So this is differential cost, and it is different from the marginal cost. This is not a marginal cost. Marginal cost is additional cost incurred for manufacturing one additional unit. Here there is no additional subject being added. The subject is costing only. There are two alternatives. Because of two alternatives, there is an additional cost of 5500, right? So whenever we are studying about the two alternatives, the difference in the cost of those two alternatives is my differential cost, and it is not a marginal cost, right? So in the next lecture, what we are going to do is we are going to have a discussion on contribution. That, sir, what is contribution? I'm going to take a lot of examples to make you understand what is contribution, right? So revise whatever we have done till now, revise it thoroughly. I hope this income statement and the cost profit statements are clear, right? And income statement under marginal, this absorption costing is equally important, because in marginal costing we'll be doing a question where they will ask you to prepare income statement as per absorption costing also, and prepare income statement as per marginal costing also, right? We'll do a question, don't worry about it. Okay, so we are done for this lecture. In the next lecture, we'll continue with the discussion on contribution, right? So see you guys in the next lecture. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy, keep studying, keep sharing. Thank you so much.